The sky above New Nissa was wrong. Gray wasn't new, gray had ruled the atmosphere since the meltstorms, but tonight it moved. The clouds didn't drift. They crept. They pulsed, as though the sky itself breathed. No stars. No moon. Just that silent, waiting canopy overhead, low and heavy, like a lid. Corporal Eren scanned the dead horizon, rifle steady, breath slow. They'd lost comms with Site-12 at dusk. He didn't need a briefing to know what that meant. Site-12 wasn't just gone. It had been taken. Still nothing? Asked Skye, crouched beside the broken fence post, her hands trembling slightly as she checked the motion sensor for the third time. Still nothing, Eren replied. And that's what scares me. Beyond the perimeter lay the outer rim, twisted forest and half-sunken ruins lit only by flickering patrol drones. The silence here wasn't peaceful. It was anticipatory. They should have run by now, Skye muttered. They did, Eren said. That's the problem. The humans who still lived outside the colony didn't wait for help. They ran when it was smart. They scattered when something moved wrong. If the outer settlements were still, then something had changed. Behind them, a low chime signaled as Command's emergency relay flickered back to life. Eren tapped his comlink. Vale. Report line active. We have signal. The voice that answered wasn't Command. It wasn't human. It came in clicks. Then static. Then words formed, not spoken, but grown in the air between them. You are observed. Skye dropped the sensor. That wasn't. Fall back. Eren barked, already on his feet. Now. The fog rolled in from nowhere, thick, black, crawling low to the ground like fingers hunting a pulse. Their boots splashed in shallow water as they moved, trying not to sprint, trying not to act like prey. They didn't know what saw motion, what preferred it. Behind them, a scream echoed across the compound. Cut short. Vikram, Skye whispered. That was. I said move. They hit the comm tower's outer door, slapped the lock pad, and sealed it behind them. But the room wasn't safe. It was quiet, too quiet. No generator hum. No blinking lights. Just one screen, glowing faintly with words typed by no one. We watch. We learn. We await the run. Eren's hands clenched. Skye pulled the data logs. Anything after Site-12 went dark. Now. She ran to the terminal, fingers flying. Lines of corrupted code scrolled. Then, a single file, video. It opened with static. Then boots. Running. Not soldiers. Civilians. Dozens of them, sprinting through a floodlit corridor, eyes wide, faces twisted not in terror but in confusion. Behind them, the walls bent, not from explosion, but weight. Something massive. Something that didn't walk but slithered. The lights overhead cracked as black limbs brushed the ceiling. Skye turned away. That's not possible. They said it was a bioweapon. Contained. Sealed under Delta Crater. They lied, Eren said. The footage ended on a single frame, a child, barefoot, standing still as everyone ran past. She stared straight into the camera. Her eyes were gone. Burned clean through. And yet, she smiled. A klaxon shrieked. Motion sensor breach. South wall. But Eren already knew. They're testing us, he said. They watched the others first. They're watching us now. He activated the external cameras. What came into frame wasn't a soldier or a drone. It was a shadow, shaped like a man but moving like smoke. It didn't run. It glided. Behind it came others, too many. Not fast. Just steady. That's when the dread hit. Not because of what he saw, but because of what they weren't doing. They weren't charging. They weren't hunting. They were waiting. Watching. Skye swallowed. Why aren't they attacking? Eren stared at the screen. They're waiting for us to run. What? It's not random. It's behavioral. Like sport. He turned to her. They don't want the kill. They want the fear before it. The panic. The moment we break ranks. Skye's voice cracked. So what do? We hold. Then, another message appeared on the screen, this time typed in real time. Run. We hunger. Run. Please. The last word was wrong. Not a command. A plea. What the hell are they? Skye whispered. Eren looked at her, jaw tight. I think they used to be us. A power surge blew the lights. Every screen went black. Then came the sound. Not a scream. Not even a roar. It was laughter, wet, gurgling, broken. Coming from inside the walls. The hallway outside their sealed room hissed. Movement. Eren drew his sidearm. Time's up. Skye nodded, silent. They didn't run. They stood shoulder to shoulder. And somewhere, beyond the dark, the Watcher stopped smiling. The hallway beyond the sealed door was breathing. Not metaphorically, literally. With every second, the metal expanded and contracted, exhaling heat and the scent of wet rust. Something, somewhere, was pressing against the building's skeleton, not trying to break in, but simply occupying it. Are they inside the walls? Skye whispered. Eren didn't answer. He had both hands on the sidearm now, finger poised, waiting for a sound that would justify firing before thinking. The power came back. Only one bulb lit overhead. It flickered, then held. The screens blinked to life one by one, showing fragmented feeds from the external cameras, many now showing only static or pure black. But one still worked. Sector 3, the main courtyard. It was filled with movement. Figures, tall, slender, not armored but covered in matte black, organic plating. They didn't sprint or scream. They drifted. As if swimming through air. As if gravity didn't care what they were anymore. Each one turned its head toward the camera. Eren stepped forward. That's not random. Skye checked the internal map. Sector 3's airlocks are down. They're exposed. But the Watchers aren't breaching. They're just standing. They're waiting, Eren muttered. Like before. Suddenly, one figure stepped forward, then collapsed. It didn't fall. It folded. Its spine bent backward, its legs cracked inward, and then it crawled toward the gate on hands reversed at the wrist. It smiled. It had no mouth, but its face still smiled. Skye backed away. That thing's wrong. Eren didn't move. We can't stay here. If they're learning from us, they'll test patience next. Where do we go? She asked. He tapped the old schematic on the screen. Sublevel 4. Cryo shelter. Still shielded. We burn the path and regroup. What if they follow? Then we run, he said. But not until the last second. They want the panic. She nodded once. Understood. Eren reached into the emergency cabinet, pulling out thermite charges. We set these on every main access route behind us. Funnel them. If they get too close, we light the floor. Skye hesitated as she picked up her rifle. You ever think we were already dead? She asked quietly. He looked at her. No. Why not? Because if we were dead, he said, locking eyes with her, they wouldn't be watching. They'd be feeding. The corridors felt tighter than before. Metal creaked like it resented being walked through. Lights flickered overhead in patterns, too intentional to be glitches. Eren and Skye moved quickly, placing charges at every stairwell and vent node they passed. Every few meters, the sound followed them, like something heavy sliding just beyond vision. They didn't look back. When they reached sublevel 4, the heavy bulkhead was half open, its seal burned through from the outside. Eren cursed. Someone tried to breach it. Recently. They stepped inside. The cryo shelter was intact, but it wasn't empty. 3 survivors huddled near the central pillar, 2 adults, 1 child. The boy, maybe 9, stared without blinking. Eren holstered his weapon slowly. We're friendlies. The man spoke first. Doesn't matter. You're too late. What happened here? Skye asked. They got in, the woman said. Through the floor. Like worms. But they didn't kill us. They just looked. Then left. They left you alive? Eren asked. The man nodded. They wanted to see what we'd do after. They were waiting. Listening. When they saw the others run, they followed. The boy still hadn't blinked. Skye knelt beside him. Hey, are you okay? The boy turned his head slowly. His voice came out flat. They like the ones who run. Because they scream longer. Eren's blood ran cold. He looked at the survivors. We're evacuating. Now. Stick tight. Move only when I move. The man and woman rose shakily. The boy didn't. Come on, Skye urged. The boy tilted his head. You shouldn't be here. What? They already picked you. A deep, low knock echoed from the ceiling. Not like metal falling. Like something knocking to come in. Eren turned. Thermites. Now. They placed the last charges and moved fast, pushing through the lower tunnel exit. Behind them, footsteps began, not running. Just pacing. Mocking. When the hatch closed behind them, Eren hit the trigger. The blast ripped through the floor. Screams followed, but they weren't human. And then, silence. 30 minutes later, they reached the high pass leading to Relay Ridge. The wind was howling here. Real wind. Clean if bitter. They stopped to rest. Skye watched the boy, who still hadn't spoken again. Eren scouted the ridge edge. His scope showed scattered movement in the basin below, too many for accurate count. They're hurting us, he said. The man beside him flinched. Why not just kill us? Because the moment we stop thinking, we act on instinct, Eren muttered. And they've been watching us long enough to know. Skye's scream cut him off. The boy was gone. Vanished. Only his footprints remained, heading down the slope, toward the Watchers. No, Skye breathed. We have to get him. Eren grabbed her arm. No. That's exactly what they want. She tore free. He's just a kid. No, Eren said, voice cold. He's the bait. And below them, dozens of Watcher heads turned in unison toward the ridge. No mouths. Still smiling. They set up camp beneath the broken satellite dish, Relay Ridge's last dead structure still standing. Burnout consoles, scorched concrete, rusted comm towers. The perfect tomb. The wind no longer howled. It whispered. Eren crouched over the makeshift perimeter. Motionless. Watching the valley. The Watchers hadn't moved. They didn't need to. Skye sat against the wall, staring at the boy's footprints in the ash outside the zone. Small. Perfect. Leading nowhere. He didn't run, she muttered. Eren didn't respond. He walked to them. I know. Why? Eren finally turned. His eyes were sunken, his jaw locked. Because we failed. We made them curious. The two civilians, the man and woman, were huddled inside, near the emergency rations. Their hands shook. Not from cold. From knowing they were still alive for a reason. No one had spoken in 20 minutes. Then came the sound. It didn't echo. It vibrated. A resonance, low and constant, spreading through the floor, the walls, their bones. Like a heart beneath the earth starting to beat. A call. The woman stood up, eyes wide. No, Eren snapped. Stay here. They're not calling me, she said softly. She looked at Skye. They're calling you. Skye flinched. What? You've been watched too long. You drew their eyes. Shut up, Eren growled. No one's leaving. But the floor cracked beneath them. A thin, perfect line tore through the concrete. And out came laughter. Not from a mouth. From below. Dozens of voices, layered, high-pitched, overlapping, childlike and ancient, laughing in unison. As if something beneath the world found the moment amusing. Then came the voice. Do you know what makes you human? It didn't come from outside. It came from inside the relay tower's speakers, dead for years. Skye stepped back. The civilian screamed. and the laughter stopped. Eren raised his weapon. We hold here. No, the voice replied. You break here. The ground buckled. Skye dove out the side as the center floor caved in. The man and woman didn't move fast enough. They fell into the black. No screams. Just silence. Then, the voice again, quieter, closer. When you run, you taste better. Skye scrambled to her feet, coughing. Eren pulled her toward the exit. Ash and broken glass coated their clothes. Blood ran down her cheek. Eren, she gasped. They're inside the ridge. I know. We can't fight that. I know. He slammed the external seal. The tower's lower levels groaned as something moved inside. They had seconds. Maybe less. What now? She whispered. He looked her in the eyes, tired. Hollow. Now we stop playing their game. Skye blinked. What does that mean? We run. She stiffened. But that's what they want. Exactly. He pulled a flare from his belt. Snapped it. A burst of blue light. He threw it downhill. They've been watching. Waiting for panic. But what if we give them what they want, just not where they expect? Her eyes narrowed. A trap? He nodded. If they chase shadows, we go another way. Skye hesitated. And if they split? What if they know? Eren stared into the fog. Then we die anyway. But not screaming. She grinned faintly. You're a real optimist. Only when it's useless. They moved. Southwest. Toward the spine trail, narrow, sharp, exposed. A place even the patrol mechs used to avoid because of magnetic interference and unstable ground. Perfect. Behind them, figures moved, fast this time. No more watching. Now the game had begun. Eren activated the shortwave beacon as they ran. Just one message, running. You wanted this. Come. And they did. The valley floor cracked open with motion. Tall, misshapen creatures darted after them, not gliding now, but lunging, their bodies folding and unfolding in impossible geometry, limbs moving like broken puppets on invisible strings. Skye risked a glance back. Still smiling. Eren didn't look. Good. That means they're still sure. They reached the spine trail. Rocks slid beneath their feet. The wind screamed up the cliffs. No cover. No traps. No time. Here. Skye pointed, an old calm node, barely standing, high on a ridge. They climbed. The ground cracked behind them. The Watchers charged. Now they were fast. Too fast. Eren dropped the last thermite charge as he ran, flicked the trigger behind his back. The blast tore a chunk of the ridge away. Still they came. One of them reached the edge, its face now clearly visible. It was the boy. Eyes gone. Limbs long. Skin now pitch black, fused with metal. He didn't speak. But he ran. And behind him, the rest followed. Skye reached the node first, breath gone. She turned just in time to see Eren stop at the edge, arms wide. Now! He shouted. She hit the relay nodes override. The magnetic field surged. Everything, metal, flesh, code, jerked, twisted, howled. The Watchers froze mid-motion, twitching violently. Like puppets whose strings had been yanked by a careless god. And for the first time, they stopped smiling. Eren fell to his knees, blood running from his ears. Skye dropped beside him. They didn't speak. They just watched the valley below, where the Watchers stood, motionless. Confused. Broken. For now. The Watchers didn't move for a full hour. Frozen in mid-lunge, some mid-scream, their twisted bodies jerked like shorted-out machines, mouths agape, limbs twitching erratically, if they had mouths at all. A few had started leaking black steam, evaporating into the dusk as if they were never meant to hold form for this long. Skye stayed crouched beside Eren on the ridge, hands gripping her rifle, unsure if she should lower it or brace harder. The magnetic surge from the relay node had short-circuited something in them, temporarily. That much was clear. Are they dead? she asked, voice hoarse. No, Eren said, wiping blood from his ear. Just processing. Processing what? The first time we broke their rhythm. They'd spent days watching humans. Studying when they panic. What direction they fled. How long they screamed. Now the Watchers had been forced to watch something else. Humans fighting like predators. Eren stood slowly, bones creaking. Across the valley, two of the creatures started to twitch more violently. One's body cracked backward into a new shape, spider-like, more efficient, stripped of anything human. Their evolution was fast. They were learning again. They're adapting, Skye said quietly. I know. He turned toward the relay node. It was never designed to last. The electromagnetic pulse had blown the secondary core. One more surge like that, and it would burn out completely. But they only needed one more. There's a calm spike left in the core, he muttered, opening the panel with trembling fingers. Enough for a focused directional blast. Skye narrowed her eyes. Focused where? Their hive signal, he said. Every watcher out here is being puppeteered by something, some central node. Maybe underground. Maybe orbit. Doesn't matter. They watch us because something's watching them. We cut that string. They fall, Skye finished. Eren gave a faint nod. Or at least stall long enough to matter. Skye stepped closer. And what happens to us? Doesn't matter. She paused. You planned this, didn't you? He didn't answer. She touched his shoulder gently. You don't have to be the one. I do. Why? He looked at her. Because I ran once. Left a post full of people behind when I thought it was hopeless. They died screaming. And I lived. It broke something in me. He turned back to the panel. So now I get to fix it. Skye clenched her jaw, stepped back. Down below, the Watchers were moving again. Faster this time. Smarter. They moved as one. Not chasing. Climbing. Straight up the slope. Eren pulled the manual override lever. The charge hummed. The relay core groaned. The air crackled. Go, Skye. No. He turned. You don't get to be noble too. I'm not. She lifted her rifle, aimed down the slope. I'm just buying you time. The Watchers screamed. Not in fear. Not in rage. In anticipation. Skye gritted her teeth. Let's give them a show they'll remember. The first one came over the ridge. She shot it in the eye. It didn't die, but it paused. That was enough. Another step. Another shot. Behind her, the relay whined louder. The final spike would discharge any second. Eren's fingers hovered over the manual pulse core. He whispered one word under his breath. Now. The surge was blinding. A column of blue fire ripped through the sky, straight into the heavens. Every watcher screamed in unison. Then they collapsed, like puppets with strings sliced clean. One by one, they spasmed, then disintegrated. Not into blood. Not into flesh. But into data, glimmering fragments that flickered like ash in the wind before vanishing entirely. Silence followed. No scream. No hum. No voice. Just wind and stars. And two humans standing alone on a broken ridge, shaking and breathing in the cold night air. Eren sank to his knees. Did it work? Skye helped him up. I think so. They looked out across the valley. Where once there were dozens, hundreds, now only ash and cracked soil remained. They were programs, she said quietly. Not just that, he replied. They were watchers. Reflections. Built to see who we are when we're most afraid. He looked to the stars. Guess we gave them something else. 2 days later. The emergency beacon was answered. A scout vessel from the Polaris fringe dropped into the atmosphere like a steel angel. Medics arrived. Soldiers came. Questions poured in. Skye told the truth. Eren didn't say much. He didn't need to. The survivors in the field knew. They'd seen it too. The Watchers hadn't died because they were outgunned. They died because the humans stopped running. Final scene. Eren stood alone beside the old relay tower, now just a smoking husk of metal and memory. He reached down and picked up a shard, black, smooth, humming faintly. One last remnant? It whispered in his mind as he turned it over in his palm. We watched. We learned. We feared. He dropped it into the fire. Skye approached from behind. They'll be back, won't they? Something always is. She looked at him. But next time. They'll remember we ran toward them. He nodded. And in the ash-scattered silence of a dying world, two humans walked away, watched by nothing but the stars.